This is State Farm agent Jason Hardy coming to you today with the El Dorado Wildcats. Jason Hardy, State Farm Player of the Week. Gerondy Williams, senior cornerback for the El Dorado Wildcats. Congratulations, Gerondy. And let me just, first off question is, how does it feel for your coaches to choose you as Player of the Week?
I just want to say it felt great. I just want to thank all the coaches that have been coaching me and all my teammates for pushing me every day at practice.
Love to hear that. All right, great answer. Got to give credit to the coaches. Got to give credit to the teammates. But hey, man, this is about you. Let's talk a little bit about you. This is the stats. Now had 2 interceptions last week. Had 1 return for 72 yards. Just couldn't quite get in the end zone on it. Forced fumble to start the second half. Had a big momentum shift there. 3.5 tackles from your cornerback spot. And I went ahead and got on to coach. I said, look, man, y'all scored 84 points, and you bring a defensive back in here for the Player of the Week. That's great. So tell me a little bit about that. Let's go to the interception you returned for 72 yards first. That had to feel good. Tell me that feeling of catching that ball and seeing some open field in front of you.
I felt great. When I was running, I seen touchdown. I thought I was going to score. I looked back, and I see number 6 right behind me. But I felt great after the interception.
All right. Coach probably tell you shouldn't have looked back, right? Coach Hill?
Well, you talk about, and we scored a bunch of points, but our defense had 5 turnovers. We got 5 turnovers. He had 2 picks and knocked the ball loose. So, that just gained extra possessions for our offense, because it was you never felt safe with the game the other night the way it was, and with the onside kicks and everything. But like I said, Gerondy had a great game. Has really been a solid player for us all year long. Didn't play a whole lot last year, having more at safety, I think, last year, and he feels more comfortable at a corner. And the thing about Gerondy, I've heard him talk more in the first 2 minutes of this interview than I have in 2 years. But he's a great teammate, does a great job on the field, and a great job encouraging his teammates. And we're just glad we have him.
No doubt about it. Gerondy, tell me, Coach called you a great teammate. What does that mean? What does that mean for you? And I already know you're a great teammate because you've already given your coaches and your teammates credit for you being Player of the Week. So that tells me a lot right there. But when Coach calls you a great teammate, what does it mean to you to be a great teammate? What is that? How do you do that? How do you accomplish that?
Being a great teammate, it's like being a leader. Just stepping up, pushing others, pushing yourself.
All right, looking for the best out of your friends, out of your teammates.
Yes, sir.
All right, okay. Yeah, you're a senior on a team that really doesn't have a ton of seniors out there. It's still a little bit of a young squad. So as one of the few seniors out there, was that leadership kind of forced on you a little bit, or is it something you looked for and wanted?
It's really just something I looked for and wanted.
Okay. All right. And I have to imagine, as Coach described, he's heard you talk more in here than he has in the last 2 years. You must be leading more by example than vocally.
Yes, sir. I'm really not a big talkative guy.
All right. So what do you want your teammates to see you do then? If you're going to lead by example, how are you doing that? What do you want them to see out of you?
In the weight room, hard work. In the classroom, on and off the field, it's like just being a leader, doing what you're supposed to do. Okay.
All right. Do what you're supposed to do, be where you're supposed to be. Coach, speak to that leadership and that leading by example from Gerondy.
I was thinking about I can't think. I don't know if Gerondy, if he missed a practice this year, I don't think he's missed a practice. And, that's something that we've kindly, I think we've made up a lot of ground on is our practice attendance. That's you can't get better if you're not there. And, I got to look and check row to see if Gerondy's there because you never hear him. Some of them coming in, you hear him 20 yards away from the building, you hear him coming. And, Gerondy comes in, he's a quiet guy, doesn't say a whole lot. But I think he does lead by example. It's kind of like the old saying, I'd rather see a sermon than hear one any day. I'd rather see a leader than hear one. And I say does a very good job in the weight room. We talk all the time about things that don't take any talent. Encourage your teammates being on time, being where you're supposed to be at. None of those things take talent. And once you master all those, then you got a chance to be a good football team. And but I said Geronde, you couldn't ask for anything more. I'd like him to be 6'4", 220, but
now, who wouldn't?
Yeah, but hey, we get all he's got. He gives it all for his teammates.
Fantastic. I love to hear that about you. That has to feel good to hear your coach speaking those terms for you, Geronde. I would imagine. I know you're a humble guy, kind of quiet, but that has to feel good for your coach. Okay, that's fair. That's fair. Let's get into where we are right here. It's playoff time. The record is 0-0. What's happened up until now really doesn't matter anymore, or does it? Tell me. Does it matter, or is it a brand new season?
It's a brand new season.
And how does that feel from a player's perspective to have that new start?
It feels great to just come back harder than what you were playing in conference.
Okay, all right. You got a home playoff game. That's a special feeling too, isn't it? Tell me a little bit about that, earning that opportunity.
That feels great because I ain't never had a home playoff game ever since. I ain't never had a home playoff game.
Right. So you're bringing something back that some of the old hands around remember home playoff games, but that wasn't something you experienced. So you're bringing that back. That has to be special too to be progressing in that direction.
Yes, sir.
All right. Okay. Let's get to a couple of these plays that you made. We talked about the interception. Coach talked about a forced fumble that you had to start the second half. That was really a momentum changer. Tell me about that play, and then tell me about how that felt after. Did you feel that momentum change and that switch? Tell me a little bit about that.
We was in the locker room halftime, and coach was telling us do something to help the team, force fumble, anything. And I went out with the mentality I want the ball back, and I went down there and got the ball back.
That's fantastic. Just to be given that assignment and then go out and execute, man, that had to feel good.
Yes, sir. It felt great.
All right. And then did you feel that when that happened, tell me, once you got that forced fumble and it's recovered and the offense gets back on the field, were you able to feel that? Were you able to feel that momentum change?
Yes, sir. I felt the momentum. I knew offense was finna go out there and score for it.
All right. Now, I'm going to let you comment on this a little bit. You heard me say a little bit earlier that I was a little surprised that Coach brought a defensive back in here after the offense puts up 84 points. But then Coach gave a lot of credit to the defense for the turnovers, getting the ball back, getting the ball into the offense's hands. Tell me how that from a defensive player's perspective, that you got offense, you got defense. Sometimes they're pitted against each other a little bit, but tell me how that was working Friday night.
It was working good. We played it. We just played. We all played as a team. Sideline, hyped us up or whatever, and had a good week at practice. And we just all played as a team Friday night.
That's great for that to come together like that. Tell me a little bit about now again, we're into the playoff season. We're in a new season. What has practice looked like? Has practice changed? Is there a different intensity level that you're getting or seeing out of yourself, out of your teammates, getting ready for week one of the playoffs?
Yeah, we wanted the playoffs. We got to work harder than what we was working during conference, because it's win to go home, and I want to win.
Not ready to go home yet.
No, sir.
All right. Coach, let me ask you, you hear Geronde talk about that, win or go home, and he's not ready to go home. You got to love to hear that as a coach.
Yeah, you do. It's I was talking to my brother this morning. His son had played and had senior night last week, and talking about how emotional it was. And and it's a 1-game season. I think we're riding. I think we're on a 3-game win streak right now. I think it's a 1-game season. You win, or you win and move on, or you lose and go home. Turn your stuff in, and this team has really developed into a really close team, I think. And I think they really like each other, and that's fun when you coach teams like that. And our goal, we want to keep this team together as long as possible. And if it's next week, if it's 2 weeks, if it's this week, whenever. But our goal is to keep this team together as long as possible. That will mean we're playing, on into the playoffs, because this is really, the adversity these guys have overcame, and this is really a special team, and and somewhat I feel like they may be overachievers, and that's certainly a compliment, not a downgrade or anything, but I think they've exceeded not our expectations, but I think of a lot of people's expectations this year. And like I said, we just want to keep this team together and keep our family together as long as we possibly can.
That's great. You definitely want to keep that family together. Talk to me a little bit, Geronda, and I'm going to ask you real quick. Tell me something about yourself off the football field. When you're not playing football, practicing football, what are you doing? What do you like to do?
I hunt, fish.
Outdoorsman.
And I be riding horses with Jeremiah.
Why you look at Coach when you talk about that? Tell me what that's about. You looked at Coach and you told him about riding horses. He told us what's going on there.
Cause like the team know Jeremiah for riding horses.
Okay, all right. That's kind of what they know about you then. All right.
He rode one to school the other day.
Rode one to school, and that's so cool. So what kind of horses are they? What do you ride?
Jeremiah, he got standardbreds.
Okay. All right. Man, that sounds fantastic. We can talk about that I'm running out of time. I'm gonna have to close it up. But congratulations again to Geronda Williams of the El Dorado Wildcats for being named the Jason Hardy State Farm Player of the Week. Best of luck as you get into the playoffs, and hope to see you again soon.
You too.